Hey, here is part two of the quiz corrections. So I noticed a lot of kids left this one blank, or they got it incorrect, or they wrote something that was wrong. So we do probably need to do a few more questions like this for you to familiarize yourself with. And I also noticed that some of us are a little just like we don't want to do the work that it entails, and it does entail some work. So let's get to it. It says triangle ABC has vertices with the coordinates given, which are these. Okay. And then it's asking us to prove. So when we see the word prove, it means either you need to write a proof, a formal proof, or you need to prove it mathematically with numbers and with either the distance formula, slope formula, or midpoint formula. Okay, so whenever they say prove, know that you are either writing a formal two-column proof or you are proving it with a formula or two formulas, sometimes all three. All right, so it doesn't mean just write something down like, oh, it can't do that, okay? But we'll get into these more. So it says prove that triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle. So we got to prove that two sides are congruent, but not an equilateral triangle. So we're going to show that that third side is not congruent. So you can graph this. I'm not going to graph this. I don't need to, okay? I'm just going to use coordinate geometry. If you chose to graph it, fine. But graphing it and then saying that these two sides look alike is not enough. So I'm just going to actually use this area and this space here to do the mathematical proof, okay? So I'm going to find the length of side AB. I'm going to start by doing that. So side AB is equal to the square root of 0 minus negative 1 squared plus 4 minus negative 1 squared. So I took 0 minus negative 1, 4 minus negative 1. And so the length of AB is, right, so that's going to give us 1 squared plus 4 minus negative 1 is 5 squared. So then we have 1 squared. I'm just double checking what I have because I don't want to be wrong and I don't want to give you wrong information. That's going to give me radical 26. So that means side AB, the length of side AB, and rather the way that we write length is without the, is radical 26. So that's side 1. Okay, that's our first side. So now our second side, which is side AC, I'm just calling it side AC. You can go in any order. A is negative 1, negative 1. C is 0, 4. Okay, and then again, I'm going to use, right, the distance formula again. 4 minus negative 1, 4 minus negative 1 squared, plus 0 minus negative 1 squared. So side AC is equal to 4 minus negative 1 is going to give me 5 squared. 0 minus negative 1 is going to give me 1 squared. Okay, and so that means that the length of AC is, right, it's the same, it's 26. So I've proven just through math that side AB and side AC are the same length. So now the last side is side BC. And I'm going to take, this is sloppy, let me fix that, BC. And I'm going to take my coordinates and again, just plug them into the distance formula. So BC is equal to 4 minus 0 squared, 4 minus 0 squared, plus 0 minus 4 squared. 0 minus 4 squared. So BC is equal to 4 minus 0 is 4 squared. 0 minus 4 is negative 4 squared. And so we have 16 plus 16, which is radical 32. So my final statement would be triangle ABC is isosceles because it has two congruent sides. And then I would just put in parentheses sides AB and AC. And that's my proof. That there is just you've proven it mathematically, and then you just written down a closing statement to just summarize what the work you've shown proves. You'll get a lot of questions like this on the extended response section of the Regents, and what we are going to do in this week is review these types of questions. All right, so look forward to this week. Our focus will be on mastering how to write a coordinate geometry proof, all right, because that's what a lot of us struggle with. On to the next thing. What is the measure of the largest angle in the accompanying triangle? I was happy to say that most students got this correct. They just set up an equation using the triangle sum theorem. They took all three, set it equal to 180. A few of us made the mistake of not including this x. That was a small mistake. Just don't ever do that again. Remember, everything must be counted. So we have 4x, because 2x plus x is 4x, plus 16 is 180 degrees. And then you just solve the equation. And from there we get, looks like 164. Okay, and then we divide both sides by 4, and 4 divided by 164, 41, right? So what is the measure of the largest angle? So let me go back and annotate. You can always go back and annotate. You don't always have to annotate in the moment. As long as you annotate something, right, it's a good look for you. And so they want the largest angle. They don't want the value of x. So the largest angle, 41 plus 56, 41 plus 15, I don't know where I got 56 from, is 56. Is 56. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1. Okay, 2 times 41 is 82, plus 1 is 83, and this is 41. So we know that this is our answer here. Okay. And then the last question in this video is number 7, which is kind of a throwback question. So I'd actually want to go back to number 5. To get the full 4 points for this question, you would have had to do this, which would be 1 point, that, which would be 2, this, which would be 3, and this last statement would be 4. Okay? Partial credit for those who annotated thoughtfully, but in order to really have gotten 4 points, you had to have proven it, literally proven it, by showing the actual numbers and the math that goes along with solving this question. Okay? Not just by drawing a graph or drawing an image. That was not enough. All right, so let's go back to this last one, 7, and it says an equation of a line perpendicular to the line represented by this equation and passing through this point is what? So first of all, in looking at the answer choices, we can already eliminate 2 of them. If we know that we're going to have a line perpendicular to this one, the slopes would have to be negative reciprocals, not the same. Get rid of A, get rid of B. Okay? So now the only thing you have to do here is figure out, and if you had a calculator, this one was simple, but what you can do, and I'm going to show you a quick fix solution, knowing that that's x and that's y, you plug in your x and y here, and whichever statement is true is your answer. What do I mean by that? Let's plug in negative 4 is equal to 2 times 6 plus 14. All right, so if when I calculate these two, it gives me a negative 4, then it's correct. So negative 4, is that equal to 12 plus 14? No, because 12 plus 14 is equal to 26. All right, so this is not true, so it can't be this one. Let's test this one. Negative 4 is equal to 2 times 6 minus 16. So negative 4 is equal to 12 minus 16. Negative 4 is equal to negative 4. This one checks out. This one is your answer. Okay? The last video, part 3, is up next.